Hello guys, just a quick preamble before we go on to the video. As you can tell by my horrible self-inflicted double chin, I am doing Movember. Movember is a charity to help with men's mental health and prevention of men's suicide. So any donations to the link below would be fantastic. You're not obligated to, of course, but anything would be great, even if it's just £1. Anything. So thank you very much. Now on to the video. Hello everyone and welcome. It's Movember. That's why I have my mustache. Um, on a side note, does my beard hid my chins? Anyway, moving on. So today's topic, coming up to coming up to Christmas, right? And I'm sure I'll do this again at some point in the future. But we're coming up to the time where people start thinking about Christmas presents, and they start getting Christmas money and you know all that sort of stuff. So I thought I'd get this video ahead of time, or at least 2 months away, just to get people thinking about what should you buy. Okay, now I haven't done a video about what you should buy because it's a stupid question. Okay, people have different priorities, but you see a few videos on the internet which is like where to start with an army or whatever. Okay, and now I haven't done a where to start video before. So we're gonna go with that, and I'm gonna start with the most generic one, which is the Space Marines. Okay, so we're gonna look at the Space Marines stock on the GW website, and we're gonna go through some of the cool things that I think you should do if you're looking to start an army in Warhammer 40k. Okay, so the first step for sort of starting a Space Marine collection, I wouldn't even necessarily say army, but a collection, is deciding what chapter or style you want. Now, for the most part, it doesn't matter. There are certain aspects of gameplay where it matters. However, I would ignore that for now, and I would pick whichever ones you think look awesome. That should be it. So I would go on YouTube, have a look at some lore videos, and just figure it out from there. There are some examples here which I've got on the screen for you. So you've got the Ultramarines, Space Wolves, Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Black Templars. They are some of the more unique ones. They all tend to focus on different ways of playing the game, but still using Space Marines. Again, I wouldn't look into that really. If you really want to play the game, then yeah, do a deep dive. Please do. I have no experience with any of them except for Ultramarines, so I'm not going to give you a spiel on them. But I would go with whatever you think looks cool first. Okay, now I'm going to use the Ultramarines in this example. Okay, because that's what I know. So, where would I start? So, back in the day, typically the place you would start for basically any army would be a combat patrol. Now, the old combat patrol for the Space Marines was awful. It was really bad value for money. It was about 100 quid, but you got the same stuff in that 100 quid box than what you got in the starter set. One of these. So I would probably recommend, overall, if you've got a friend, either of them are great. This one will allow you to play using some terrain that they've got here. However, this one here, 70 quid, split it with a mate, half and half. They get a starting army of Tyranids, you get the Space Marines. 35 quid for what the old combat patrol used to be when it was 100 quid is a bargain. So this is really good. This is one place you could start. The other place that I would probably start now is with this. So these are currently not launched, but when they'll come back in stock for Christmas, I'm sure. But this is a really, really good start. Okay, so you've got 5 intercessors in this box for holding your objective. You've got 3 Blade Guard veterans, really good in melee. 5 Reavers, who I am unsure as to what they do. I don't own any Reavers. And then 3 aggressors who love being up close. Okay, within 12 inches, really good shooting, and then they've got good melee as well with their dual power fists. You've then got a leader or a character unit, Chief Librarian Tigerius as well. He's apparently very good. Again, I don't own him. So this is a great place to start. Okay, so once you've got this, it's all about looking to expand your collection. Now, if you're playing by the rule of cool, then a lot of what I'm going to say doesn't really matter for you. If you're looking for a structured way to build, which is kind of how I transitioned to, then what I say might have a lot of logic. So as I've said in previous videos, this plane over here is what I started with. It's actually not that great, but I thought it looked cool. So if you're looking at somewhere to start, you could look at who's going to lead your army. Okay, now any character in the game, even generic ones, can be your warlord. Okay, you don't have to get these. Now, some of them, in fact, these 4 at the front are all Ultramarine specific characters. So if you don't want to play Ultramarines, then don't get them. Get them if you like the look of them, okay, but they get a bit funky when you get on the field, okay, which is not the point of this video. So you've got those options there. These are all epic heroes. They are also characters as well, so you can have these as your leadership unit. This guy here obviously comes in that combat patrol, so you won't have to buy him separately. You could spend that 30 quid on getting Kato's Sicarius instead. I think he's a captain, if I remember rightly. You've got Rabute Guilliman, the Primarch of the Ultramarines there on the right. Okay, he on the field, very, very, very good. Okay, expensive though, 340 points, I think, something like that. And then you've got the new model for Calgar. I don't know if they're still selling the old one anymore, but that is the new one. He's also an epic hero. Now, if we scroll down, there are tons of different characters that you could get. You get ones with jump packs, librarians, Captain Ingravis, who you've seen in the previous video. I own this one. Okay, that's the one I wish I had. This one here. They're the same unit, but they've just got different guns, weapons. You've got the special set, which has Eradicators, Blade Guard Veterans, and then this guy here who's got the sword over his shoulder, the Judiciar. You can't get him outside of this box, and he's very good. He's a very, very good unit, and I look forward to getting one. Tech Marine for repairing stuff, or there's loads of stuff here that you could get, and you go, oh, you know what? I like the rule of cool. I'm gonna get that. Okay, and that is exactly how you should play. Is have a look down here, see whatever you like, and go, I'm going to get that and test that. If you want to test your banner painting skills, then get Kato Sicarius, Tigerius, or this Ancient with a flag. That's pretty cool. So after you've done that, you're then looking at generic soldiers, okay, for your army. Generic scorers that can help you with your victory points. Intercessors. They are very good, okay? They have really good shooting. They have an ability that doubles their shooting as long as they don't split fire, which means target more than one enemy. They could just target a unit. They get double the attacks in range. And they sticky an objective, meaning the moment they have their base on the objective, they sticky it at OC1, and you could just walk away and you don't have to hold it. It's really, really, really useful. Okay, you get 10 of them in a box. Okay, I only have 10 of these guys, and they're over here. I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, they're here. Okay, you saw them in the last video. They're kind of next to Guilliman. Really, really, really good. Okay. So you've got your generic troops. Now you've got your infantry models that are more designed to be played in a certain way. So Eradicators are designed to fight anti-elite and anti-vehicle. Okay, their melters are really good at borderline point-blank range. They are slow. They move 5 inches, so you need to ideally find a better way of getting them up the field relatively quick. We'll come on to that later. But they are amazing, and they are some of my favourite models on the field. I think they look fantastic, and I love the melter gun. It's my favourite weapon in Warhammer. So they're really good. Again, they're useful. You can take them in squads of 3 or 6. Okay, I have 6 of them currently. So that's good for your sort of anti-elite and anti-vehicle. They're not necessarily anti-tank, though. They're anti-vehicle. Really tough tanks like the Rogel Dawn. These might do something, but you're wounding on 5s, I believe, which is good if they don't save it. if they don't save their saving throws, then yeah, you're going to do well. But naturally, it's harder because of their being toughness 13. So we've spoken about some ranged attack now. So we'll look at some melee. Blade Guard veterans suck at everything that isn't melee, but they're really good at melee. You want these to be up close and personal. Again, they are slow. They move 5 inches, so you'll want to get them up the board quick using a transport of some kind. But they're very good. They can be in squads of up to 6, and then you could attach a character. A good character is that Judicia I spoke about. That means that whenever you're in melee, regardless of whose turn it is, you will fight first. That's with the Judicia. Without the Judicia, you don't do this. You don't get fights first. But fights first is really, really good. I look forward to getting some of these. I don't have any Blade Guard veterans. I focused a bit more on the range side with them because my Death Guard and especially my World Eaters prefer to be really up close. So those are your sort of normal troops that you'll see most people using, I would say, that will help you kill models and do your primary objectives. We're now moving on to the secondary objectives. Now, quite a few secondary objectives in the game require a decent amount of movement to get to, or a decent amount of flexibility, I should say. Great unit for that is the Jump Pack Assault Intercessors. So imagine the previously mentioned... oh no, we didn't speak about the Assault Intercessors. So these guys are already good in melee. They do wounds when they successfully charge. They have a 12-inch movement, which is fantastic. If you want to get them up the board quick, you could then do an advanced roll, which is where you roll a d6, add that to the 12 inches, and then move in that. They can come in from reserves. They don't get deep strike, but they do get. They can come in normal reserves at the board edge. Help you do stuff like sabotage or behind enemy lines or extend battle lines for those sort of secondaries. They're pretty scary as well. If they manage to get on the charge and successfully, fight you. So they're good. Pair them with the captain as well, which is one of the character units. I'm not sure what he does, but you could do that. Now, for a bit of a controversy, I hate these guys, but I can see why people take them. Terminators. Terminators have a keyword called Deep Strike, which means they can go from turn 2 onwards anywhere on the board as long as they are 9 inches away from an enemy model. Okay, or over 9 inches away from an enemy model. That's really useful, especially if you should start them in reserves, and then you can, if you've got a really good secondary objective that they can score, and then because you can shoot after Deep Strike, so you could land them on that secondary objective, start doing that, and then maybe shoot or charge or whatever if you can do that afterwards. So they're really good. Once they're on the board, they can be pretty tough to shift. They are toughness 5, so even normal intercessors will be wounding them on 5s. They are pretty tough. They're very good in melee. Well, yeah, they're okay. They're okay in melee. Their shooting's pretty good though, especially within sort of 18 inches. I'm not a fan of them. I think they're a bit too weak for their price point. I would rather take another squad of Blade Guard or another squad of Eradicators rather than the Terminators. But that's just me. So we've spoken a lot about infantry. What you should focus on then is how you're going to get your slow-moving infantry up the board. Okay, and an example is the Primaris Repulsor. Okay, now you'll see a distinct lack of Rhino in this list. I'll explain why in a bit. The Primaris Repulsor has a shed load of guns on it for really good fire support and can take 14, I think, or 12 troops in it, depending on who you put in. So it could take, I think it's 14. They could take normal intercessors, I think it's 14 of them, and then anyone in Gravis armor, which is the Eradicators, the Blade Guard veterans, and the Aggressors. Those guys take up 2 slots each, so you can take 6 of them, basically, or 6 in a character is what I do. Okay, so they're very good. This thing moves, I think, I want to say 12 inches. Again, has great weapons. So that's one way to get them up the board quick. The other way is a Land Raider Crusader. Both of these vehicles you've seen on my shelf. Okay, Land Raider Crusader, really tough, high wounds, 12-inch movement again. and that has 16 troop capacity. So you can, again, you could take 8 Gravis troops. So you could take Captain and Gravis, an Apothecary, and then 6 Eradicators, for example, which is really good, really really good. Okay, now distinct lack of Rhino. People will probably be screaming about that. I don't take the Rhino because none of my troops can fit in it. I have no Firstborn Marines on my shelf. I don't own any because I don't like the look of them. I like the Primaris line. I'm a new person to the hobby. I understand why people don't like Primaris. I don't give a fuck. So because of that, I can't take anything in Rhinos, which is a shame. So I can't have them. I have the Razorback, but I can't use it as a transport. I use it for its las cannons. So that's kind of how I would go if I were you guys. Just to sort of move on to the wrapping up section. That's what I would do, is have a look at some of those units. Ultimately, the first port of call should be to get what you like. Okay, if you are looking to play the game, then I would definitely do some research before you want to spend big money. Please buy this stuff at friendly local game stores, though, for that extra sweet 10 to 20% off, depending on what you're buying. Some of the GW prices for some things are outrageous, so yeah, please do buy them at a friendly local game store. So now that we've got that out of the way, the last thing I wanted to do is put something fun on the list. Okay, so something that's really cool. What I'm about to show you can be used with Space Marines as an allied unit. It's not always advised to do so, but it is very fun. And I thought I'd show you an Imperial Knight. So you've seen mine. I've got a Chaos Knight rather than an Imperial Knight. But yeah, you could take these as allied units. They're like 400 points or something. So, but you know, 400 points of big gun, big health. They got like 26 wounds. Okay. They're very, very, very fun to have on the table. They do a shed load of damage. So you could take these as well. If you really like this, then you can have one of these in your army as well. So I think that kind of wraps it. Ultimately, though, you should really go with what you think looks the best. Okay. Now, there are units in these other chapters that are specific. Okay. So an example, if I click on the Space Wolves, you can see that they have specific models that have like pelts on them. Okay. I want to see their I think it's their chapter master or something. He's got a big or he's in Terminator armor or something like that, but he's got like a big wolf pelt on him. Anyway, this combat patrol for them has people like where's their, look at these are specific Terminators to them, so they look different. Okay, and some armies do have that. Dark Angels have the Deathwing Terminators, who I don't know where they even are, but they're in this colour. They're in this sort of tan colour or whatever. So they're really cool. But yeah, I think you'll I hope I've given you sort of an idea as to what you should do. Ultimately, the rule of cool presides. Okay, once you start to play some games, you'll probably notice what you're lacking and then want to fill that. Always stick by your guns. So for me, tactical squads can be good. They're Firstborn Marines. I hate them, so I'm not using them. Rhinos are cheaper than repulsors. Don't care. I don't like Rhinos. I don't like Firstborn Marines, so I want the cool stuff, the new stuff. Remember, everyone, I'm not a professional player at this. I just go with like what I think looks cool and also what I think makes sense. There is nothing in this video that is like a meta or anything like that. It's just from my experience of playing it. I don't know if these are great decisions to win tournaments because I don't give a shit about tournaments. So yeah, this is just a quick guide. That was a little caveat. So yeah, hopefully this has been helpful, guys. I really do appreciate your engagement. So yeah, take care, and we will see you all later.